This video does not need no introduction, okay? Today on This Movie Sucks, it's going to be G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Okay, let me just explain something to you. You know, when I heard that they was going to bring this to the big screen, I was pretty excited. Okay, now I don't remember that much of the G.I. Joe cartoon, but I know enough to know, but mainly I was excited for this. You know, the guy that did the Mummy and the Mummy Returns wanted to do this film. But, mainly when I was watching the movie, I was like, "Oh boy, here we go." You know, the first few minutes is a bunch of fucking fan service, okay? That's all it is, okay? Pretty much the story sucked. I'm not going to lie. Everything sucked about this movie. Nothing was good about it. Not even the action scenes could save this movie. It was another tip of the mill, generic cash grab movies, mainly for toys, okay? Seriously, like, I don't understand. What the hell were they thinking? Like, ruining Snake Eyes, making him have these big ass lips. Of course, that, Snake Eyes is supposed to have a mask over his face and not be showing expressions on his face. Seriously, he's supposed to be like this kind of type of person that does not show any emotions and stuff like that. Okay, but they fucked that character up. Mainly they fucked up Ninja Storm. They fucked him up, and mainly they fucked up the continuity with them. Mainly saying, oh, they was brothers. But I think in the original animated series, they were friends. Seriously. But saying that they're brothers, yeah, pretty much that sucked right there. Um, I cannot stand, I forgot which Wayans brother it is, but I cannot stand him in this movie. He was aggravating as fuck in this movie. Seriously, what a fucking dumbass retard, okay? You know? And Channing Tatum's acting is pretty terrible in the movie as Duke, of course. I think he was Duke. I can't remember, but still. Okay, but pretty much you can understand where I'm coming from. Seeing a movie, animated movie called G.I. Joe Retribution or something like that. I forgot the name of it. Sorry, people, but Snake Eyes was such a badass in that movie. He did not have no face in that movie. Seriously. Everybody was badass in that animated film, but in this movie, every character was lame. Even, of course, Cobra. Cobra had a monocle over his eye. Of course, trying to be like, that guy from Ace Ventura, um, Peck Detective 2. Basically being like that, and of course having like a gas mask over his face, which is kind of fucking stupid. Okay, first of all, and mainly Baroness, they messed up her character. She never went out with Duke. She never loved Duke. They were always fighting against each other in the animated series. You could correct me down there if I'm wrong in the comments, but other than that, from what I can remember, is they wanted to do this whole love thing between Baroness and Duke. Seriously, like I just don't fucking understand. Seriously, like why would you add that? And another thing, um, the whole Iron Man suit thing where they're running across France. Yeah, that pretty much that scene was pointless and stupid and retarded. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Am I watching G.I. Joe? I'm watching the greatest Olympic runners. Seriously, that's what it felt like. The greatest Olympic runners of 2033. That's what it felt like to me. Seriously. Um, pretty much, cinematography was terrible in this movie. The costumes were terrible. Everything was just terrible about this film. Okay, And I was disappointed in the film. I remember walking out with my head down, face down, looking at the ground, and mainly just being sad. And then, of course, to cheer me up, I had to rip up my ticket, and of course, you just throw it away and mainly get a sundae or something at the mall, just to cheer my ass up because how fucking terrible this piece of shit was. Even the music in the movie sucked. The sound effects sucked in the movie. Everything just sucked about this movie. Even the one nerd, which, now I hate, even back then, he did an awesome rant on it. And, mainly I like his rant on the movie, because he knows what he's talking about, because I think he's seen all the episodes of G.I. Joe and all of that. But yeah, I give him props on that rant. That rant was great. I remember it being great. But I think everybody was disappointed in this film. From me, it gets a 0 out of 5. Mainly this was a terrible puke stain on the carpet of a nice looking hotel room. Okay, that's what it felt like to me. Seriously, that's what the fuck it felt like to me. Like, how dare you? How dare you mess with the source material, and how dare you make a movie off of this and made money off the poor people, including me? Okay, how could you do that? Seriously, you know. But I know that people are going to say, well, you didn't have to see the movie. No, because I was curious. I thought it was going to be awesome, from the guy from The Mummy 3. Not Mummy 3, The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. My mistake. My mistake. I'm sorry. This movie is not making me think straight, but still, okay. My God, man, this is a wretched piece of junk. I don't know how else to say it, but I hope there's a website dedicated to breaking this movie with a hammer and burning it on fire, like Shaq Fu, of course. My God, man, my God. Just thinking about the movie, I basically want to kill myself. Just to not think about this movie ever again. But thank God I have this series. This movie sucks. Just to explain the wretched puke fest of G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra. And it ends off with sequel bait with, of course, a terrible mask on Cobra, not his original mask. No, a terrible, god awful mask that looks like shit, basically. And you know what? The sequel, I'm not gonna lie, even though it has Rock in it, The Rock, I think it would still be a terrible film. People say, oh, this is going to be a promising film, but no, don't support the sequel, seriously. Because the sequel will be a lot worse than this wretched piece of shit. I know it looks promising from the trailers and all of that. I know the movie already came out, but I was smart enough not to see it in the movie theaters. Seriously, I was smart enough not to see this wretched puke in the movie theaters. The second movie. But other than that, just stay away from this movie. Seriously, just stay the hell away from it. And you would feel bad afterwards. Like you would want to gouge your eyes out with some needles. You would want to basically put spikes in your eardrums so then you won't have to hear anymore. And of course, you would want to slit your own throat and basically end your life because how terrible this GI Joe movie was. Seriously, I'm just dead serious about it. Overall, fuck this director. He can't direct for shit anymore. So what? Your only two good movies was Mummy and Mummy Returns. And I think he did direct Van Helsing. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but still, just please, please, just don't watch this movie, whatever the fuck you do. If you come across it at a video store, don't rent it. Just let it sit there. All right, peace.